two heavyweight teams. You know, Mark Sanchez had a great quote yesterday on TV. And I don't know if the executives liked it because it was kind of like maybe on the line, like in today's world, where he was like, yeah, week one's a dirty little liar, just like your ex. And whoever was doing the game with him was like, me, my ex? Like, but no, anybody has an ex that they probably don't think so highly of. And you don't believe what they have to say. And week one, honestly, is a lot of the same thing. Like, remember last year we thought the Saints were going to be very good. You know, over the years we've fallen in love with teams the first month of the season. There's always your September teams. But we are starting with Sunday night because it's Sunday Night Football, but it's also two of the biggest unquestioned heavyweights in the NFL, the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. And I said coming in this game, I said I'm a little bit worried about my Bills. I put the Bills in the Super Bowl, but I'm worried about them week one. And I'm worried in part because I thought they played Trey White at corner. They actually played a 6th-round rookie.
Yep. Dorian Strong.
Yeah, Strong at corner. They've got, safety group that shows up on film a lot, not in a great way. And they always look small when they play the Ravens, and they did for much of this game. And there is a saying in life that hope is not a strategy. Have you heard that one before?
Oh, yeah.
It is a strategy, though, when you're playing the Baltimore Ravens and when you're playing the Baltimore Ravens offense. You can just hang in there throughout the game and hope that they will make a big mistake. And that is what this team has turned into. And I hate to say it, but that's the thing that, like when you break down what will happen in the postseason this year, they are that team. Kevin Clark put it this way last week on the show, and I thought he was great. They're that team when you look back over the past 25, 30 years of NFL fandom, as far as you can remember, they're those teams that you remember and you're like, damn, it's no surprise to me that they won it that year when you look back in retrospect. And I think Baltimore, he termed them the team this year that's like, oh, of course they won it. If they did, you'd look at that roster and say, that's the best fucking team in the league. And, a lot of people have echoed that sentiment, but they make mistakes. They beat themselves. And honestly, these two teams are kind of like watching two NBA teams play. Watching Golden State and some other team in the West in Golden State's heyday where it's like, no lead is safe. I turned to Cowboy. How much time was left in the game?
It was 8.5 minutes.
8.5 minutes. I turned to you guys, and we had just been jamming on notes, watching the game, kind of tuned out by this point a little bit, like 30% tuned out. And I said to Reed, in about 5 minutes, watch, this game's going to be electric. And it turned into being like, if you're Roger Goodell, you're laughing yourself to sleep last night because our product is so much fucking better. I hate to do the shit on other leagues thing, but there's a lot that happened this year in sports. And I watched the U.S. Open this week and everything. And there's some great sports on TV. The Thunder winning the NBA Finals was great. But what do you remember since the last Super Bowl? What are you going to remember more than that opening night in the NFL? That to me is more memorable than a World Series game for an average fan walking around. And everybody likes football. It's back. That was theater. Just unbelievable. I want to give out my first mention before I turn it over to you guys, see what you thought about the game. Hollow men and women are going to be the Buffalo Bills fans that watch the fucking fourth quarter from the parking lot and on their phones. That is, and Josh Allen, your quarterback, and I'm comfortable saying it because the quarterback said it. He said it twice after the game. You're supposed to hang in there until the last whistle, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm paraphrasing. But for the quarterback, he was almost pissed off about it. I'm sitting there, he's watching people leave and usher, and we're watching the All-22. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing when it starts to happen. You can see it thin because before every play, it shows you the score, the D&D, everything, and you're seeing people trickle out. And I think that pissed him off.
Yeah.
And I think that had at least a little bit to do with how he took the field at the end of the game.
You think they're sitting on the sideline, like him and Joe Brady, game planning, and what's our next best call? And he's looking around, he's like, these guys are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Everything I've done here, like they're part of the team.
It's the last game. It's the last opener in Orchard Park.
Yeah.
And it lived up to its billing. And not in a way, if you like defense, it did not.
No.
Yeah.
But and I'm King Rock Fight.
Yeah.
I love Rock
This isn't
Fight.
the Chris Long game of the year.
No.
There will be a 6-3 game at some point. That
No,
will be our
and
game
I
of the
cannot
year.
wait. Listen, we'll get to Denver and Tennessee, and you can tell us all about that Rock Fight. That was like, they say World War III will be won with sticks and stones or whatever it was, whatever some smart guy said it at some point. And then that was kind of that Denver game last night. So yeah. I think there was a pause in there somewhere. But this game was totally different, and I thought like the Ravens were getting kind of whatever they wanted in the run game, and they were making shifts and adjustments, shift into I formation. They came out of the half and hit a screen where Stanley and Linderbaum are flat backing people, and there were moments like D-Hop's one-hander and Lamar's incredible scramble. Like, as you're a rusher, the rules of rush lanes don't apply to him. Like, Beau, what do we do in that situation? Joey Bosa is running him straight back towards the goalpost. Like, what do you do?
Dude, I watched that clip like 6 times. I think they said like next gen stats, it was like a 75-yard run in real time for Lamar Jackson. But it's like you get 2 of the best rushers in the NFL, Russo and Joey Bosa, and they can't even get this squirrely bastard down, and then he scampers for 19 yards. But in reality, it's an 80-yard run live. I mean, pretty incredible, man. You said it. What a fun Sunday night football game to start it off. My dick was hard for
Oh my goodness.
You just love to see it,
Jeez Louise.
But I had a good moment. You talked about mentions quickly. Chris, I want to get mine in. Did you see the video of Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox after the game?
Mr. Brightside.
That
Yeah.
was so cool. That's like the white boy anthem.
White people get that song
after a
so
moment
much.
like that.
It's like our Dumb and Dumber. You know how you don't like Dumb and Dumber, and you're like,
I don't.
Oh, sorry. I'm not even trying to. I'm just.
Don't get a mommy. I didn't say
Don't
I
get
don't
a
like.
mommy.
I don't like Dumb and Dumber.
But do you like Mr. Brightside?
I just feel like you guys think Dumb and Dumber is like the funniest white movie.
Well, drunk
ever. I
white
don't see
people
At a wedding.
or at a bar. I didn't know what that song was called.
I thought it was Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, I just knew the
I thought
lyrics.
that's the song.
Sweet Caroline's like last generation's Mr. Brightside.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Bills have co-opted Mr. Brightside to the max, where like all my best memories, whether I know it or not, were set to Mr. Brightside.
Totally.
What?
I'm telling you, because it's like the end of the see, you didn't know it either. Yours too.
Did you play it at your wedding?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Hell yeah,
Mr.
dude.
Bright-
I remember that.
Anytime I hear Mr. Brightside, I am soaked in sweat on a dance floor at a wedding.
I think I had you up on a chair.
Yeah. Chris was just holding me up in the air.
That was
Yeah.
crazy. So, anyways, that's a great thing to bring up because they got that stadium rocking last night, and for the 30,000 people that were still there, that was a lot of fun. But I think what's crazy about this game was 9 possessions in the fourth quarter. People leaving the stadium, the whole thing, and it brings to mind some of the Harbaugh coaching decisions and just the Ravens' track record at this point, which is. Listen, last year, you talk about their 2-minute defense. There were 3 or 4 games that they lost to teams, at times inferior teams, because the game ended with 2-minute drill for the Ravens defense. As good as that defense got as the season went on, this has been a consistent theme for this group for years now. The Raiders game, they get the ball at the end of the game, go score. Cleveland Browns last year, same thing. They blew a big lead against the Browns. They beat Cincinnati, but Cincinnati went and tied it and went for a 2-point conversion to win, and they end up short. There were a lot of these moments, and so like Harbaugh having blown all these fourth quarter leads. Y'all got the statistics on that? Can we bring that up? What's the deal with Harbaugh and blown leads? I don't want to butcher. I don't want to undersell it.
It was some. What was it? What was that? It was like 8 games.
17
games.
Ravens have
that
now
they've
lost
won
8
double-digit.
games. They've lost 8 games since 2021, in which they at one point had a win probability of at least 90%. That's 3 more than the next closest team. Shout out Ben Solak.
That's incredible.
Bet.
Yeah, Solak, yeah.
And John Harbaugh has blown 17 double-digit second-half leads. That's the most by any coach since 1991.
Man, it's just an
Second
incredible.
half is crazy.
It's an incredible thing
Yeah,
because
well-
when you go ahead, Beau.
I was going to say the most surprising thing to me there is how strong the Ravens are at running the ball to blow these leads like that.
Bingo.
It's like just kind of ride your workhorse, Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? That's what really is killing me about that.
You got to think realistically in a jam and 4 downs with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, you can almost every single time
Ball forward for 30 feet.
to get 10 yards,
Yeah.
like in a span of 4 downs. Like, just keep doing that.
And I get it. Nate, I'm watching those last 3 plays because really it comes down to I don't feel great after they miss the, after they miss a 2-point conversion, they need the ball back again. Okay. Not to mention the drama where 4th and 2, with everything that went on in this game, like that 4th and 2 had to be one of the craziest plays, not just of the young season. I think when you look back at it, like that's a wild play. But at that point in the game, people are leaving the stadium. It feels like garbage time. It's not garbage time at all. And the ball's tipped, I think, off Kincaid's hands into Coleman's hands, who played really well, by the way. That's a big plus for Buffalo. He's got great body control. I mean, we already know that, but last night he was really good. He sat Jair Alexander down so bad on that last reception there.
And here's the crazy thing with that, like
Probably should have let him score.
Wonder if it would have been a different game.
I don't know if Coleman would have sat down.
No, he definitely. I don't
he
think he was
scored.
thinking that. Who knows?
Yeah, who
but
knows?
I was just thinking. I'm like, yo, if he doesn't get tripped up and he scores that ball, like this game might be like even more exciting.
No, I know.
If Lamar gets the ball again.
And it ended up being there's 2 things people called into question. The one was like, hey, I saw some people complaining about this, like Harbaugh could have run the clock down a little bit longer before taking that last time out, because there could be some procedural issues with the Bills trying to throw the ball out of bounds, and or maybe you force them into more of a fire drill situation, which, by the way, for a kicker to show up, Prater, who's like I thought he had like a good Little League birthday or something. Like he just turned 41. My man looks like weathered, bro. Like
Yeah. That was my
seriously.
best flight. My best flight was they said
Wait,
Wait, what does that mean?
he looks older than me. Like when I start now, I'm at that age where I see people and I'm like, oh yeah, that guy's an older man. And I'm like, I look him up, like, and I'm like, damn, he's my fucking age. But Prater looks a little bit older.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought he had one of them Little League birthdays, dude. So it ends up being Prater, a guy who just shows up
red eye from Arizona on Thursday.
and tells Josh before the game, I'm going to give it everything I got tonight. She's like, yeah, swing your fucking leg.
Yeah.
Which is what he said after the game. And I love that about Matt Prater. He goes, all I have to do is swing my leg. And it's true. And that ball, I think, got tipped. But it's just a wild sequence, and the wildest thing to me was Ravens having 3 downs, getting whatever they wanted for 60 minutes in the run game, and not being able to finish. And they're running the same shit, okay? Like, they run lead on first down. They go jet sweep. You'd like to see maybe more quarterback read or that sort of thing. They're running this stuff into loaded boxes. And I think ultimately the questionable decision for me, it's twofold. Number one, why not put the ball in your best player's hands? If I'm defending the Ravens with 3 plays and I need the ball back, I'm praying they hand the ball off. As good as they are, I don't want the ball in Lamar's hands. Okay, so number one, you can be more aggressive. I don't think timeouts are as important. Making them spend timeouts with 150 to go in the game is not as important. Like the important thing is not giving the ball back to Josh. Point blank, period. And so I think on 4th down, there is a conversation to be had about going. I think some of the most analytics-minded people who sometimes we shoo, and we're like, yeah, come on, there's a football game going on here. Like, not everything's numbers, but, success rate, probability. I think in that situation, I wouldn't have been mad at Harbaugh. And if I'm on defense, I would be terrified if the Ravens come back out there and line up to go for it on 4th and short to medium. Yep. But I will say this, the Bills, as bad as they were on defense at times, this is just what they do. They scrap it together. They force turnovers. I thought Ed Oliver played fantastic. He's one of my favorite players.
Dog.
Underrated as
Dog.
fuck. I thought Bosa showed why he helps all around. Even though you gave up 40, I think you got better on the defensive line with Bosa there. The rookies got some valuable snaps, the 2 guys inside. Bosa forced a fumble. You see him make little plays like where he's closing on the backside of a play and he comes to balance and he's smart with his angles. If he can stay healthy, he helps them in both phases. Safety play is still an issue. I think Milano's looking a little bit long in the tooth.
Yep.
That could be a week one thing. You know I love Milano. You know I lock my kids in a dark room and make them watch Matt Milano film. But, you know, I'm worried my kids are going to come to me this week and go, Daddy, do we age? Because I think I saw Matt Milano age the other night a little bit. He might be fine, but it's just something I saw. And then, you know, Dorian Strong hanging in there. Dropped flowers on the touchdown drive that made it 34-19. But, you know, Ravens are a wagon. I think one of the things I'm worried about with the Ravens defense is the corner 2 position, right? We kind of took it for granted when Jair Alexander joined up, and we're like, oh, there's a fucking super team. Mm-hmm. I think there's Jair Alexander this year and then him like 3-4 years ago. There's a difference, and it happens fast. He finished the night with 2 really bad reps. And they didn't even get great play out of Josh Palmer until late in the game. You know, you talk about the Bills, they got to feel pretty good. Mm-hmm. Coleman played well. Palmer, although I don't know why he quit on that one route. Overall, a pretty good game for that offense, and they stuck with the run game, which is what they're going to do. The screen game, Cook, yards after the catch. This was really encouraging for me that they were able to win this game in the shape they're in.
Yep.
You know, because it looked a lot like defensively the first game last year, but the difference is the offense is light years ahead. Mm-hmm. So I don't see these teams going anywhere. I'm a little bit concerned about, and maybe it's the tip of the cap to the Bills' offensive line, but the Ravens couldn't get that much pressure. And, you know, or blitz 21% of the time. That might tick up if these guys can't get pressure. I think that's more about the Bills having a really good group. What else, guys?
Well, I got a worse flight, pretty obvious, but it's going to be the Ravens, Chris. Mm-hmm. Fucking terrible start to the year for them. You have to be disappointed. But yeah, I mean, what a game. I think you covered it pretty comprehensively, man. One thing, though, I do want to say, you said a little worried about the pass rush from the Ravens. I like Matabike. I thought he played pretty well. It's been a little. I think he tailed off the end of last year, but I think he had a sack last night, and I think he'll be a double-digit sack guy this year. Just want to give him some love because I think he's a really good player.
Yeah, we're not burying the Ravens. They just everything that they do and everything they're known for was on display last night.
How do we feel about? We saw the crowd get into it a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I know Nate wanted to bring that, but how do we like a tap on the head from the
yeah,
Bills
I didn't
fans,
see that
and
until
then
the very end.
and then a full
beer, and then a beer.
Somebody threw a water bottle in the
on the
end zone
run
when
yep.
Derrick Henry's running. I hate that because, you know, that to me is like, hey,
Bills Mafia, cut it out. Like, you're a cool fan base. You're like one of the cooler fan bases in the NFL that, like, if you're not part of Bills Mafia, you still, from afar, you look and you be like, you know what? You guys got a cool fan base. You jump through tables, you do crazy shit, but, like, don't start this. Like, the snowballs is one thing when it's snowing outside and it's part of the elements, but throwing beer and pushing
players
Lamar,
is
like,
fucking weird.
touching
it's
Lamar,
weird.
like,
that's weird.
That's weird because no one wants anything to happen. Don't provoke Lamar Jackson to run into the stand.
They're gonna have to put like a NASCAR barrier in front of these guys. They're gonna be the first fan base with like a NASCAR barrier.
Or we're gonna start having we're gonna have the hockey glass. They're gonna have the hockey plexiglass for the front row.
Yeah, as an Eagles fan, Bills fans don't become an Eagles fan.
We do draw the line at dildos, right? Like dildos is cute. Like dildos is funny. It's cute. Like if somebody steps on a dildo, I think they're gonna be okay.
There was a dildo on
that
that game.
Bengals Browns.
Okay.
Bengals Browns game.
But Bills Mafia,
like a bottle of something. You know, Derrick Henry steps on that fucking thing in the end zone. I know for Bills fans are like, we don't care. But like, come on.
That's what they were trying to do.
Show some respect. Also, Derrick Henry, by the way, I mean, like, brutal fumble. We talked about Ed Oliver forcing that fumble, but Derrick Henry, all in all, it's all systems go. He doesn't look 31 years old.
That has to be the worst, like, to have a game like that and
then fumble at the end of the game.
Ultimately fumble and just be like, I'd never want to think about this game again.
That hurts. That hurts.
Jim Edwards in the chat said, Ravens spit first, though.
What happened?
No, he was just joking.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Did the thing first.
Dak did spit first, yeah.
So yeah, and then just one more point on the Bills defense, Chris. You said this going into the season. We're not going to see the best version of that group until later in the year when they get Hort back. Ogunjobi, Harrison. These rookies get more reps, so they'll improve as the season goes
They got
on.
multiple guys suspended. You just pointed out the whole offseason hinged on finding the second corner,
Right.
and the guy was hurt to start the season. So
And-
they got
and
to
the
be
third
feeling
one.
like
Yeah.
and they got to be in the third. They got to be feeling like we're going to be okay.
Yep.
Because we're the Warriors. We're the Golden State Warriors.